What's up, GCP listeners? It's your boys, Dan and Reed Isbell, and we're taking a little breather this week. You'll be hearing some of the best stories, some of our favorite stories from our favorite artists.
Fraudist.
Koe Wetzel,
Bailey Zimmerman, Zach Top,
ZT,
Ashton Kraft.
Yeah.
We got stories for days. They got stories for days. You've already heard them before, but you're going to hear them again because they're that good. So check out this best of episode of the Brothers Hunt and God's Country podcast.
I don't want to go to the dentist. I don't want to go to the doctor. I'd rather just wake up dead than know that there's something like colon cancer. I'm not going to get screened for that.
Hang on,
I'll just die of it.
You just rather wake up dead?
Just rather not know than the anxiety and the stress of knowing.
I'm exactly.
I'm with that.
I would rather, but when
also,
the Lord calls me, it'll be my time. And until then, I'm just going to cruise.
Preach, brother, preach. You know? Dang right.
But it's kind of like that guy that was, my dad used to tell the story in church all the time. There's a guy, he said, hey man, you got to get out of this house. There's a flood coming. The guy said, no man, the Lord's going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Water gets high. He goes to the second floor. They come in on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, the water's getting high. Like, hop in his boat. We'll take you. He's like, no, dude, I got faith in the Lord. He's going to take care of me. They come back on the roof and they get a helicopter. Same situation. Right? So he gets to heaven at the gates and they let him in. He's like, dude, I mean, you told me I had faith. I had faith the entire time. He said, well, hell, son, I sent 2 boats in a helicopter.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of the same situation. It's like,
a little.
Okay.
That's a fair argument. That's a solid argument, all right? One of these days, I'll grow up and be more mature about it, I'm sure.
It's all good. They don't give colon screenings until you're 45 anyway.
Yeah,
I got some time.
You got 30 years before you got to hit that.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, now I got to do a mad at. I'm angry at my back.
Or is your back angry at you?
Well, that too. Every time I play a round of golf badly, I just like not swinging right. It hurts my back, and then this morning I woke up late. Mike rang my doorbell, which is what woke me up to bring me here.
Nice.
And I got out of bed and like was holding my back like an old man. It's terrible. And so I've been. Yeah, that, and I thought of another one too. If I can say 2 things I'm mad at. Please. This is probably the stupidest thing to be mad at, but
way more fun.
Lately I was always skinny as a rail my whole life and like couldn't gain weight to save my life. And then one year on a bus and 30 pounds comes really easy. Yeah. So did that, and then so lately, basically since the start of this year, I've been trying to pay attention a little more because there's beer always free at any time,
free as shit.
And nobody frowns at me because I'm not showing up at the office drinking beer. It's just like, well, it's Monday, but that's my weekend. I worked, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I can drink beer on Monday if I want to. But then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I want to have a couple beers. I'm doing a show.
Drink some beer
it's fun.
too,
yeah, and so you can literally just drink something 24/7, and it's like I don't think that's normal. Probably don't need to.
Doctor probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
If you'd ever go, he'd tell you not to do it.
If I ever went, he'd say that wouldn't be a great idea.
Yeah.
But then I just realized. So I've been on this good kick. I had lost 15 pounds since the beginning of, or like the middle of February or something. I was down 15 pounds, and then I've had a bad week-long stretch here. Went to the Masters.
Off the wagon.
I'm not gonna not drink a million beers. And I'm like, I'm on the wagon. I'm not trying to be sober. I'm drinking. It's just like,
I'm good, Peyton. I'm watching my drinking.
Right, exactly. I'm not doing that. And I'm gonna, they got all the great food out there. I'm gonna load up. So did that. And I keep on telling myself, it's like when I'm at one of these things that's fun, that's like, all right, I'm gonna drink here, but then the next few days I won't drink. But then it's like, went to a birthday party crawfish bowl on Sunday when I got back. And so obviously I'm going to eat, 12 pounds of crawfish and drink a bunch of beer. And then it's like, all right, but I'm not drinking much. And then I played in a charity golf tournament yesterday. And so, I'm not going to not drink then. So I think I'm not drinking today. And that's about it. Because then tomorrow I'm going home and we're branding my dad.
We got some real man. We got a shotgun, a real man.
Speaking of our next segment, Yeah, and so then I'm going to spend the whole weekend drinking while we brand calves. And at some point, I gotta do something.
So you're a real cow guy.
I am not a real cow guy. I have seen cows.
Okay.
I have touched cows.
You said branding, so I assumed you
said
were real.
we are branding cows all weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we are. I'll be in there. I'll be cutting nuts. I'll be roping.
That's a cow guy. What
else do you have to
do to be a cow guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Be good at it.
Be good at cutting nuts.
They also call cow guys cowboys, by the way, fellas.
More commonly referred to.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm a bad one, I guess. Yeah,
So you're like a rookie.
I do things that cowboys do. I just do them poorly.
So you're just a bad cowboy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I got a day job.
So tell me, give me a great fall deer. Give me a great November deer story.
Oh, fall. See, man. So we don't
just any deer story.
Any deer story.
One that clicks in your head is like.
I'll give you like the first big deer that I killed. So I grew up on like public land.
Yeah.
My granddad and my dad, like we had land around the house, 100 acres or so, but we just didn't have prime deer hunting country. So we'd always hunt public land. And so I was probably 10 or 11. And we were hunting this. It was Caddo. Y'all know Caddo Lake? It's like the only natural lake in Texas.
I don't know.
What area of Texas?
So it's like northeast Texas. Okay. So not far from Louisiana.
Okay.
And so we go out hunting, and we're walking in this huge bottom. I've hunted 100 times before, and I tell my dad, I was like, hey, there's this huge slough that you walk beside to get down to this bottom. I said, hey, I want to hunt this slough this evening. Just or this morning and watch everything. He was like, no, we're going down to this bottom. We're going to hunt this bottom and watching this scrape. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So we get down there.
That's a dad.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Last night.
So we go down there, we hunt it, and it's probably like 9:30, 10. He's getting hungry. He's like, oh, yeah, there ain't no deer down here. We're leaving. So Gary Dale's going to listen to this and be like, what? That's not at all how that went. But anyway,
Gary Dale's hard, man.
Come on, man.
Gary Dale's hard.
That name.
It might have been me, but whatever it was. So we start getting to walk back on this trail. And, we're not far from the truck. We're probably 100 yards from the truck. And I'll tell my dad, I say, hey, I'm going to sit on this log. I'm going to watch this slough like I told you I want to do this morning. He was like, whatever, I'm going to the truck. And so I went, I don't know why I had, some attracting on me. It was called Moonfire. Y'all remember Moonfire?
No.
But y'all look it up. I don't even know. It smelled like soap. It smelled like Dawn soap. But I don't know. But at Walmart they sold it, and it was one of the most expensive at Walmart, which is probably like $12 or whatever.
Baby. He's like, don't waste this.
He was like, here, this is how you put it in the scrape, and just a little drop. I'm like, I ain't doing it. I smell nothing, But like I said, it smelled like soap for some reason. And so I'm kind of watching Daddy Moonfire, look it up. And so I'm like watching him to make sure he's out of sight. And so I run out in the middle of this slough and I just start dabbing this shit all the way back, dude. I'm like
wasting
dude, it. Yeah.
One shot.
Here's my bottle of Moonfire. So I was gonna apply, how I wanted. So I get back, I'm sitting on this log, dude, and I probably 3 minutes after I sit down, I'm like, messing with my rifle, and I got old 30-30.
Yeah, because people forget we didn't have phones back then, dude.
No,
you just sat there.
Yeah, this was probably 2000, probably 2001, maybe.
Yeah, you just had to wait.
Yeah,
the rapture.
I'm trying to find a twig to whittle, and so I'm just sitting there, and dude, I look up, and probably 75 yards out, the grass is pretty tall. This deer comes at 13 point. He probably 130-inch deer.
Oh, at the time,
but to me, I thought he was, a 220-inch deer.
Oh, in public,
bro. And this deer is nose in the air, and he's smelling Moonfire. He's got just stars in his eyes, dude. And I'm like, no way. In East Texas too, man. So seeing a deer, we'll hunt, all season long and maybe see 15 deer. Yeah. Kind of like Tennessee. Here in Tennessee, man. Sure. Not a whole lot of deer. Yeah. And so I'm just like, and dude, I throw up and all I see is brown hair. Cagoosh!
No way.
And he's disappearing. I'm like, oh, what happened? And so I started hooping and hollering for my dad. Because I know Gary Dale was still walking to the truck. Like I said, the truck was probably 100 yards away, and he still ain't back yet. That's how close it was.
Moonfire, dude.
And the Moonfire. So I'm like, woo, and he's like, So he thinks that I shoot myself.
Oh yeah, they always think that.
So he comes
that.
running. It sounds like a damn bear coming through the woods, breaking limbs. What happened? What happened? And I'm like, he's down. He's like, no shot. And so we start walking to him, dude, and he's still kind of kicking or whatever and he doesn't know where I hit him, but I put a perfect shot on him,
Yeah.
And so he finishes him off or whatever, and he was like, what the hell? This is a big deer. I said, moonfire, baby. And I guess I might have even stole it from his bag or whatever. But dude, he was like, no way that will work. Because again, it smelled just like soap. Dude.
To this day, he's dousing it.
I promise you, my granddaddy passed away, about a month ago. Whatever.
Rest in peace, man.
And and he taught me everything about hunting. And until our last hunt together was probably 2 years ago before he couldn't really do it anymore. And he still to this day, whenever they stopped making moonfire, he was thoroughly upset with it because, dude, and I don't know if we ever killed another deer over some moonfire, but dude,
It worked that day.
It worked that day. I don't know what it was, but yeah, man, that was I'll forever remember that story.
That's a great story.
That's great.
So your granddad got you into it.
Yeah, man. He was, he was an outdoorsman. He taught me a lot about life, but especially being outdoors, hunting, fishing, and that's where my love for it came. So yeah, man, it was. Well, like I said, we were always on public land and just be out there for 5 or 6 days and
That's
no
awesome.
phones, no nothing, man. Just me and him and my dad, dude. It was so much fun.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Our dad got us into it, and this last year was the first time he's ever hunted anywhere
West of the Mississippi.
except Mississippi and Tennessee. We got to take him to Kansas.
Nice. That's awesome, dude.
And we hunted all week. In he shoots a 150 on the last day. And I'm
Last
telling
afternoon,
you, man,
Dan had his shirt off in the blind. We were all three into
so
the blind.
hot. It was so hot, dude, that the windows were fought. Like
Yeah.
we were having
Yeah.
to open window and then shut
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
It was so hot. So he shoots this deer.
Hunting marginal win too on this
Yeah.
last afternoon. Pretty much thought it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But
It's always when it happens.
I know, man.
It's
Weird.
It's
I
the
know.
ones that you don't think are going to happen.
We're walking, we see he shoots at this deer, and his words were, "If this gun did what it's supposed to do, I drilled that deer."
Yeah.
Like he was fully confident.
yeah, I was like, "How you feel?" He's like, "I killed him.
Yeah,
I killed him." If this gun, he's like, "If this bullet hit where my crosshairs was, he's like, he's dead, dude."
Yeah.
So we hear the deer. We think we hear where the deer crashed. We all three are trailing. I'm putting Reed up front, dude.
Yeah.
Because I love my dad and everything, but he can get a little.
Especially excited.
He get a little excited. So,
I can too.
so
Yeah.
Reed walks to this like little hump, and he's doing the
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
turns around and goes, "Let's go, dude. Let's go." And we were like, "What?"
There's nothing like it, man.
dude.
There's nothing like
We
it.
walk up on this deer, dude, and my dad starts preaching, dude.
Yeah.
He's like,
I never thought I'd get to
I
do
never
this.
thought I'd
boys."
get to do this.
Yeah,
I've
man.
been watching you boys.
Those are the most special times. Like
never forget
those are
it.
the moments that I like cherish so much. Family, absolutely, friends. That just makes my world go around, bro. Being in the outdoors and having those moments. Obviously, harvesting an animal and getting it done, killing a
dude.
big one or limit or
It ain't about that,
It
though.
ain't about that, man. It's those moments right. I mean, I'm getting chill bumps
Man,
talking about
man.
it, but I mean, like just those moments right there. Those are something that you'll take to the grave, which you'll remember on your deathbed.
Amen.
Those. And so,
Come on, man.
just-
Look
They
at
make you.
that,
They make you better
Get
people.
me.
No,
Those
absolutely, man.
moments make you
Yeah,
realize what really
absolutely,
matters.
Absolutely, it makes you appreciate everything that we get to do. With the podcast and playing music and the stuff that we get to do.
Preach,
man,
Koe, let's
I'm
go.
just saying, man. I'm on
Preach.
the coffee's starting to wear down. So
All right,
I
all
can
right.
think a little more.
Koe, what you glad
That's
of?
what I'm glad of, man.
Coffee's wearing off, and the Lord's taking over, baby. The Lord's taking over. No, I feel
man,
you, man.
it is, bro.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
That's so
I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
when we get what we get to do,
Yeah, for sure.
and occasionally to about it, it's
Yeah.
just
it makes us it makes us think that our problems are not as big as we think they are.
and honestly,
Come on.
for us, it's the only place we can really turn it off.
Dude, absolutely, man. That's everybody asks, what do I do? Whenever I get off the road or whatever.
what's your
man,
therapy?
I want to get out there, man. I just want to get. It's the one thing that I can do to just completely clear my head and get away from everything, man. So.
We better start talking about music. Or
That was a good
they're gonna get mad at us.
transition. When you look back about like how you grew up and where you come from, Louisville, and like a kid growing up through that whole thing, man, like what part of that kid still shows up every night on stage?
My dad always just taught me that you need to put you're 100 into everything you do. Yeah. And if you get an opportunity in life, you really need to take it because you never know how many of those you're going to get. And, you know, I've been blessed with opportunities. I mean, every single day for the last 5 years, but like, it's kind of just that I think is like the kid that only had one pair of jeans for school and sometimes didn't eat supper and, you know, had one, you know, one pair of shoes type thing. Like that just like comes out, you know, and you're like, ain't nobody taking this from me. I'm working my ass off and like, and nobody's going to take that from me. Like I'll never have one pair of jeans again. I can promise you that. Like, and I think that's what shows up is like, bro, this is yours. Take it. And like, don't take this opportunity for granted. Like crush that shit. Let's go, you know? Yeah. And I, you know, we've had some hiccups along the way, but I mean, I feel like that is what shows up. Yeah. It's like just that kid that's like, got to do it for my mom, bro.
Wow.
Like,
bro, what's it feel like to buy a house for your mom?
Bro, that was so fire.
Put your mom in a dream crib.
Dude, that was so fire, bro. Like, so there's this YouTuber named Danny Duncan, and I watched him growing up a lot, and I'll never forget the video. Like, I bought my mom a house, and I was like, that is what it's like to be famous. That is what fame is. And that's what being rich is being able to like do stuff like that for your family. Sure. And like, dude, I'll never forget, he brought his mom into the house in the video and he was like, yeah, this is your house, man. Like I just bought it for you. And it was just like so crazy. And then, so yeah, my mom went through a really tough time last year, man. Like, so, I went to Cancun, played at Cancun, had a crazy time there, and then
I remember that.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it was a crazy.
A lot of people remember that.
A lot of people remember that one. Oh yeah, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. But no, so man, it was crazy. Right after we got back from that trip, my mom got super sick. In the hospital on a vent sick, like about to die sick for like 2-3 months. She was in this hospital, like had all these surgeries and was like almost like a day away from dying, like a day away from if she didn't wake up because of her lungs. Her lungs were so bad because she smoked for so long that her lungs were so bad she couldn't wake up. Yeah. So if you can't wake up enough to breathe on your own, the vent has to stay in, but you can only stay on that for so long.
Sure. Right.
So, dude, randomly, like, dude, oh man, I was touring, going back in between, like in between touring in the week and like seeing her and then going back out and then coming back and staying at the hospital in my bus. And like, it was like this crazy thing, bro. And like, ended up day away from dying, just wakes up and vent comes out and she just is all of a sudden good. Like miracle, bro. All of a sudden just ready to rip and like all good, dude. She's never been better. And after that, I just was like, dang, I really need to set my mom up. Like, I really need to make sure like people in my family are good to, you know, cause like, dang, she really needs to get back. She needs to get healthy. She needs a lot of help here and there. And like, you know, she didn't have a house, cause she was married, but then she's like kind of divorced or whatever now. So she like didn't really have a house. And I was like, dang, like I got to buy my mom a house. And it's really cool, man. Nobody knows this, but the house that she's in now that I just bought her, we redid the whole thing. The house is catty-cornered from my grandma. So she can walk out the back door and go right to my grandma's house. Perfect. And my grandma to her too.
Wow.
And then
that's probably more important than the house that you bought.
Dude, oh my gosh. Well, the house she bought is really important too because her best friend growing up, like my mom rode dirt bikes on this land that she's living on now. Like as a kid.
Rode dirt bikes?
Oh yeah. She's a bad bro. If you ever look up a picture of my mom, you can throw it up on the podcast if you want. Yeah. Spiky hair.
Okay.
Got a crazy like barbed wire iced out chain around her neck all the time. Like she's bad.
Oh yeah.
So this house that I bought her was built by her best friend named Joni. And Joni died in 2009. And she built this house. And my mom used to go over there while she was like dying and like help her. Jeez. And now she like owns this house, which is her best friend. I mean, it's like that's cool. She still messes her like to this day, of course. And like now living in this like, so she came out of the hospital and like being able to give her a new house and like just fresh paint and just fresh, you know, like
new start in life, man.
She quit smoking. She quit. She's not, you know, she doesn't drink. She is like, I've got her on meal prep and she's going to the gym and she's like getting her life back. And, and it's really
chance.
Cool. Yeah. It's really, really cool, man. And like,
that's great.
Yeah. So she deserved it. And that's, you know, like I said, like that's what being famous is. And that's what like, when you get the chance, bro, and you get the opportunity to take care of people, you need to really do that. And I've honestly, I ain't even gonna lie. It comes back tenfold. Yeah. It comes back tenfold. Sure, when you keep helping people and you keep letting God just run your life and keep letting him tell you what to do. And when you feel that your conviction to do something, just do it. Just do it, man. It's came back tenfold, man. I'm
preaching.
I'm so
dude.
blessed because
man, preaching up
keep
here,
doing it, man.
Yeah,
So
dude. When you have these feelings and like you know, these ideas pop up and you're like, man, I should probably write a song about this. Like, is it always therapy, or is it sometimes like, does it make it worse sometimes? Like diving into a situation that you don't want to be in the first place.
I like to say there's some closets in my brain that the doors need to stay locked.
Doors never get
right,
open.
right. That is tucked away. That's funny.
Keys gone. Yeah.
I would say maybe there's a couple things. There are things that there's nothing that I would never write about. But there are songs that I would never release because when I write about it, that's like, I'm getting it off of my chest. Once it's released to the world, it is automatically like in the hands of everybody else. It becomes a business, which is also really hard because it's like such a vulnerable feeling. All of these things that I go through in my personal life.
Sure.
Like even like when I wrote Narcissist, that was like my first like hit. I was still going through it when I released it, and like people were coming up to me at shows and telling me about their experiences with narcissistic abuse, which I had just started to understand because I had just written the song and released it.
Oh yeah.
I was still in that situation. I wasn't like
over it,
separated from it. I still had that person in my life.
Yeah.
And like that was really hard on my personal life. Not a lot of people, I think, really realized that like I don't just make these songs up. Like it is my personal life, and it's hard, and it's also hard going home. And like my family, I mean, I come from such a great family, and like my parents are awesome, and my grandparents, they're all just like faithful, hardworking people. Them listening to like me singing songs about how sad I am all the time is not my favorite thing. Honey, like it's hard.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
sure?
Yeah. I'm like, sorry, Grandma. I'm gonna sing about depression now.
Come on down here and eat some biscuits and
Yes.
feel better.
I went you up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I get it.
I just have mentally had to come to terms with the fact that like once a song is released, like it's up for people to interpret for their own lives, and like
absolutely,
I have to keep a very fine line between like Avery and Avery Anna, and like mentally that's like the only way to like survive it, I think.
100%. But at least you're wise to that. I mean, a lot of artists don't recognize that until it's 20, 30 years down the line. And then those lines get crossed, right? You have become that person. You've become that identity.
Place your value and your identity in your career, which is not good. Like it's not normal.
No, you see it all the time.
Yeah, it's not normal to be idolized that much.
We're not created
like,
for that.
It gives you this kind of like savior complex, and like these people like think that you saved their lives with your music, and like maybe you did, but I don't know, all the praise that you get, people caring about what you wear, what you say, who you date, like you can't place your value in that. And that's something that I also have to tell myself, like those things have value and they do matter, but they matter like outside of like my identity and who I am. And then I have to just like place that in being like a child of God and a daughter and a sister and all those things that like ground me and that like made me who I am. Yeah, it's hard to draw the line, but it is important. And I understand why artists get an ego and why they have addictions and they suffer through all those. Like it's not normal to do that.
No, if you don't know who you are before getting into that game, the game will tell you who you are, and then you start to believe it, and it's too far gone.
Yeah, seeing yourself from every angle, knowing exactly how you look, knowing exactly what you should wear. Yeah, it's like that's just not healthy. And then reading
the comments about it and people's opinions of you and your shirt,
and all of a sudden it matters what color you're wearing.
Absolutely,
and if you're wearing high-waist jeans and
that's a whole.
I guess this is more of a girl thing.
Yeah, it makes sense though.
I mean, guys, it's just like a t-shirt and jeans, but still, there's lots of opinions.
Let's talk about your identity for a second. You recently collabed with Sam Barber on a song "Fearing God," and you've talked about how you follow God first and your dreams second. Like, are you continuing? Is that a struggle to do that in this industry on this journey? Or do you find it even easier to like give into that and follow God in the midst of everything that's going on?
I find it more and more obvious that I should do that and that I have to do that to survive it. it does not get easier. I think it actually makes it a lot harder because, but it's more blatantly clear that you should do that. It is really hard to set your priorities on God and what he wants for you when every single day of your life, it's like,
what do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah. First thing in the morning.
And I also hate like what's authentic to you. Like authenticity is like such a touchy subject because what makes me authentic is like who I am in God's eyes and like how he
1,000%.
created me to be. And I think the second that you like deny yourself and follow God, as everyone says, that's where you truly find yourself and like your purpose. And it's really hard to focus on that when, it is. What do you want? Where do you want to play? What do you want to say? How do you feel? And I think those things, like I said, are important, but they're not the center of your life. Like, I like to think of it as like, God is not an employee in my life. I am an employee to his plan. And that's that's an everyday thought that I have to practice.
Are you like 150 years old or something? You're the smartest person I've ever met.
Can you tell I just think a lot?
Yeah,
I've always been very spiritual my whole life.
Wise, man.
Especially moving to Nashville and like doing this, and it's just made me like latch onto that so much harder and like get deeper into it because it's like the only thing that gives me any peace in my life.
100%.
Doesn't make it any easier. Actually, I think does make it harder.
Yeah. Especially in today's culture that's telling you that's the weird now. Like that's like that, like following Jesus, that's not what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Or even also like it is the weird, but it also, I mean, we're in the Bible Belt, socially acceptable to be a Christian.
For sure.
And it's idolized to be a Christian. And I can talk about it all day, but like actions speak louder than words. Am I actually praying on my knees at night? Am I thinking of him in every thought? And I've even learned that through writing and in my music of earlier in my career when I was trying to do what I wanted and trying to make a name for myself and trying to like, I feel like I was seeking the validation of the industry and of the town
Of course.
and of the fans and trying to like please everybody and be this thing that everyone thinks that I could be and wanted me to be.
Yeah.
But the second that I switched like my priority and wanted to seek the validation of like the person who created me, everything changed and I became a lot more confident. I found real confidence and peace. And I was doing a lot of studying on, cause I was like, why do we say to have fear in God? Like why should we fear God? And it didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I got super deep into the study of fear, and biblically the translation for fear in terms of the world means anxiety and stress and like tribulation and sorrow and like worldly sorrow. But fear translated in godly terms is reverence and confidence and peace. Which I think is really cool. So
that's cool.
Like where you're placing your fear really matters. And I, for the longest time, and I still struggle with it, but placing your fear on the world of like, am I going to be accepted? Especially for young girls. Like, are people going to like what I'm wearing, what I look like, what I'm saying? Am I going to be cool? Am I going to fit in? All these things. It depletes your confidence. It makes you anxious. It gives you depression.
It's the devil.
All of it is the devil.
Yes,
it really is.
It
And
is evil working against you.
but then when you are like, I'm not really scared of anyone except for the one person that can me to hell.
That's right.
And if I don't
He's
get
a
in
pretty
line
selfish
with
guy
him,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. He's literally got the silver or the plastic or whatever you call it, the cellophane on.
Well, tell us what's
on
we
the
got
tattoo,
we
man.
got to recognize that.
I just, y'all know Brett James.
Yeah.
He was my. I'm just now getting to where I can talk about him without breaking down.
Yeah.
I still on my own. I heard of Nate Lowry, who I love to death, sent me a song of his that he wrote right before he passed. And
Yeah.
I listened to it yesterday, and I couldn't get past the verse.
Yeah, man.
I just he was my mentor. He was my brother. I mean, we were thick as thieves. When I signed with him, this is a crazy story that I've never told. Couldn't get in the door, couldn't get anything to happen for years. I can remember I'd be like, okay, I've got a meeting with I'm not going to run any companies down, but I'd have a meeting with so-and-so and
Sony,
and you would be like, this would be like maybe even just like a publishing or a BMI or whoever asked that kind of thing. And I would think it was the biggest deal. I finally got a meeting with somebody, with some suit,
Absolutely.
And you'd work for 3 months thinking about that meeting, and I can remember I would make the drive into Music Row, and then it'd be like you sit in the office and 15 minutes go by and somebody comes out and is like, well, so-and-so can't meet with you today. Can you do it in 3 months from now? And you're just devastated, And before you know it, a whole year's gone by when you thought you were going to get that meeting, and then you get that meeting and it's like, well, I got 5 minutes, and it's kind of like, and then it's like, well,
so tell me where you're from. And you're like, wait a second, I got this pocket full of songs.
Come back and play me some tempo in 3 months, and then
I got this one guy I want you to write with.
And it's, it's so much time goes by. Well, I had nothing going on, and I played this songwriters round, and I guess some people were in the crowd back then, maybe there was a little more, maybe music lovers that would go to shows and that could make decisions. And I got called I got a text on my phone and called the number back, and it was this really big producer was kind of running a record label at the time, and can you come in and meet with us, and this guy, I knew the name, and I go in there, and they've got the paperwork and this famous lawyer that I also knew of in the room, and it's right there.
For the first meeting?
Right there, it's all ready.
Okay.
And it's, they want to go right into making a record and this and that. It's probably 2008-ish. And I think back on that time, and I've been writing a ton, but Up All Night was not ready yet, and I think I might have written Everything But You, might have been the only one that I'd written at that time. And something in my gut, and then everything was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get a record deal,
100%, yeah.
Something in my gut was like, can y'all give me 24 hours? And I looked at the lawyer and said, yeah, we'll give you 24. All right. I got in my truck. Now, up to this time, I had not had any bites. Same day, I get a call from Brett James, who, you guys don't know Brett. He was one of the biggest songwriters ever come through this town.
And just a light, even outside of the songs.
The man, he's bigger than life. He's bigger than life. I'd see him at my gym, be like, God, how do I get this guy to get a meeting with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so
he passed away last September in an airplane crash.
He calls me and says, I'm Brett James. I said, I know who you are. And he said, can you come and play me a couple songs? One of my friends, who was Joe Fisher, was over at MCA, saw me play. And so I go to Brett's building that was behind Losers, Cornman, which was just the hang when I was coming up, man. I mean, it was the mecca of songwriters, your Rivers Rutherfords, your Craig Wisemans, your Hillary Lindsays. When I first started writing that building, it was like all the biggest writers. And it was so much music happening, which is not really the way anymore. And it was just an old house. It had all the vibe. All the songwriters would hang. They'd write till 5, which I don't know if anybody writes till 5. And they'd write till 5.
I did yesterday. And I was like, what is happening? Get home, man.
And, and then at the end of the day, everybody would convene in the living room. It was just so much vibe.
Play songs
and everybody be playing their songs. And then we'd all hang out and drink and hang and play more till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Then it would just start back over.
Yeah.
It was such a way. But anyways, Brett, I played a song called Thinking and Driving. It was about them all over the road, but I haven't been drinking a drop and got pulled over, but I'm just thinking about her, And he stopped me after the first chorus. And he said, I don't need to hear anything else. He said, I'd already told him where I was coming from. So I got to be honest, coming from somewhere that, and he said, well, I can't give you a record deal. He said, but I think you have all the raw juice that I've been looking for. And he says, I love to hone your craft, and I'm going to be the mentor that is present. And if you sign with me, he says, I really think we can do something special. And it was us just kind of talking, and he felt like a brother right away.
And he's talking publishing.
Yeah, he's talking just a publishing deal. Gotcha. And talking like $27,000 a year, like we're just barely getting by. And I was already living in a garage apartment, and it's like, you're going to be broke for 4 more years. And that record deal was like,
oh yeah,
you know, it's like, it
baby,
felt like the cake.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. The cake. Yeah.
And there was something about him that what I needed more than anything at that time was someone that I felt like was a true believer. And man, I decided to sign with him, and it was the best decision I ever made.
So you didn't do the record deal?
I didn't do the record deal.
Wow. Just went straight?
I went straight with Brett, and he was everything he said he was going to be. You know, he let me, because you guys probably hit the, you know, the come up of this, where it was every 6 weeks, I would track 5 songs. Every 6 weeks, I go to a record room and I track 5 songs. He let me produce. He let me follow my basically.
Yeah.
And he would, when we'd sit back and we would dissect all the songs. I'm like, this isn't quite what I thought it was. This, you know, and well, what do you think went wrong with this, and what's missing with this? And we just dissect and we talk, and we would go to his lake house every weekend. I don't think there was a weekend where the two of us were not together at that lake house, writing and hanging. In the first 2 years, I don't think a weekend went by.
Wow.
And we were together every day. And then, you know, I ended up getting the record deal in 2011 or 12, and we drifted, but we were texting each other all the time, and and we'd hang a little bit, and then just got less and less. And right before he passed, we had been texting for like a week of just nonstop, like, I miss you, I love you, you know. And we had worked out a trip. He says, just the two of us need to get away. Let's go down to the Bahamas and let's just write and hang. And I was planning on going down there with him about a week after, before he passed. Wow, man.
Yeah.
So, but just, he was the best.
Yeah, the town,
he really was.
Town lost a light, man. In that you and him were on the road.
We'd been writing a little bit, and with Lydia over there, and
Lydia's great.
Yeah, she's great. And we wrote a few songs, and me and Brett had just started to play, golf, and just started to really get to know each other. And he was just an unbelievable talent first. Second, is an unbelievable man, and just had his head on right, and knew what he wanted to say, and said it. And he was just so cool, man. He was just so cool.
He was the coolest.
I mean, you look at him, you're like,
he was the coolest.
That guy's real.
Yeah, his hair was perfect.
He was the coolest,
and he was nice. He wasn't like cool, like cold shoulder cool. He was like inviting. Like,
he was so cool. Like, he made a baby writer always feel comfortable in the room, and he was so good. I mean, like, there's a lot of people that get a lot of hits, and you'll get in the room and be like, how in the world has this guy been on a bunch of hits, or this girl?
That's right.
You get in the room with him, you're like, I get it.
How does he not get all of them?
Hillary Lindsay, Natalie Hemby, there's some people you get in the room with right away.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I know how they got here.
Yeah.
And he was one of those. And I mean, just a chameleon of, he could do anything.
Yeah.
And he was easy to learn from, man. I feel like he wrote out loud. Like he did what he did what he was good at out loud, and you got to see it and watch it and appreciate it and respect it, as well as like take from it and try to soak it up and be a sponge.
Some people hold those
with
tools back.
No
like
doubt.
You'll see it in the song, but you'll be like, he didn't
you
really
see the
help
answer.
me.
You don't see the problem.
He didn't really help me work through it, man. That's so. What is it? What'd you get?
So I just got his when he was born and when he passed, and I've been seeing these cardinals everywhere I go, and I don't know if it's just that I've got one that hangs out in my live oak, and I've been having the weirdest things where they'll literally fly. I'll see them on a beam line. I'll have my windows down. It's all over the place. And
I like this.
And they'll fly to my rear view mirror and just stare at me. Wild cardinals. And they've been everywhere. So I just, put a couple up here and just kind of, it's just my.
That's cool. Man.
I hadn't got one, probably 10 years. So this is the first one I've gotten in a while.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's special. Yeah. That's special. I'm glad we asked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Brett James.
What is it, dude? What is it about the cardinal? What do you think it is?
Well, then I kind of, did some digging, and it's
I want to know.
I think the exact, I'm paraphrasing, but they're messengers from those that are deceased to let you know they're still with you. That's supposedly when you Google what a cardinal is, that's the bird that they are.
Jumps. Yeah,
I think I said that pretty right though.
I think you got it, dude. Oh, can you catch it? You threw it to the one guy up here that can't read.
Yeah. A massage? I'm just kidding. A message from a loved one who has passed. One of the most common beliefs is when cardinals appear, angels or loved ones are near. People feel it's a comforting reminder that someone they've lost is still with them in spirit. Hope, comfort, and reassurance. Because cardinals stay through the winter and stand out in the cold, they're seen as a symbol of endurance and warmth during hard times.
Yeah, man. Woo! That's pretty tough right there, dude.
Man, you're kind of pushed into a corner where you have to live your life out online, right? Like in the public a little bit because of your career. But one thing I respect about you is you don't shy away from it. And the moment you had around Christmas and the way you responded to that, I respect you hardcore for that, bro.
Oh, well,
like
thanks, man.
Real talk, man. I
actually,
do.
for a while there, I didn't really want to be. I'll give you a great story. And something I think is important is that all of us as men, I said this in my apology for those that don't know, like I just had like kind of a straight up, dude. I had a straight up like breakdown over the fact that I was losing my second relationship, the mother of my daughter, Paris, and like, and a lot of it definitely is due to decisions and ways I've been, and so I take full responsibility of that. But it doesn't mean like it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't, and like I thought about how much of this life has brought me, and all the beautiful things that people see from the outside in, but they don't necessarily always see the underlying things that I or she or any of us in this business or anyone's like kind of forced to deal with under the surface, and then show up and smile and sing Barefoot Blue Jean Night. And it was a moment where like I just kind of lost who I was, because when I looked back at that video that I posted, I was like, I don't even know that dude. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but that guy's hurt. That guy's lost.
Yeah,
and it made me realize in that moment, like, that I wasn't who I thought I was trying to become, but it set me on a different path of understanding that like we're all like broken in ways, and you got to find out how to fix yourself. Like nobody can fix you.
1,000%.
And so thanks for saying that. But I'll tell you, like when it happened, I was real embarrassed because I was like, man, I've done a lot of great things in my life, and I'm a really happy person. And I've got a beautiful family of like daughters and people that respect me. And I got great friends, but like I gave this like in an instant, this impression that I was like not well. And, so I was like embarrassed to like be out in public and have people see me. And anyways, it was around Christmas, like you said. And so I was going to the mall to buy my daughter a necklace. And I was in Tiffany's getting my daughter this little like turquoise necklace. And this guy came up to me when I was walking out, and he's like, "Are you Jay going?" And I was like,
"Yeah, here we go."
I knew what he was going to say. He was going to said, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He goes, "Well, do you know Ken Mellons?" I said, "Ken Mellons, like this like country music artist, is amazing singer, like bad." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I know Ken Mellons. I love that dude's voice. I mean, the dude's awesome." He said, "Well, he just walked by here a minute ago and he saw you and he said that was you in there." And I said, "Really? Where is he? I want to meet him." He said, "Well, he's somewhere. I bet I could find him." And so, sorry if this sounds long-winded. This can blow your mind.
No.
So Ken Mellons, for those of y'all who don't know, is still regarded as one of the greatest country singers, like in our time. Had a short-lived career, but like when I moved to town, I would talk to Jimmy Ritchie, who helped me, about Ken Mellons and his album and like his voice and like, anyways. So I said, "I'm gonna go get a Starbucks. I'll be back. You get him, and I'm gonna come back up here. I'll meet you." So when I came up, I look up and I see Ken. He looks at me, and I see him, and my first thought is, "Oh my God, like that's Ken Mellons. He's the Green Hills mall cop."
What?
K Mellons right on his shirt. And I say this on this interview because of how much admiration and love I already had for Ken Mellons, and now I have even more for him, because in that moment where I was embarrassed to show my face, and he had no idea what I'd gone through in those few days prior to that. My first instinct when I saw him was like, Ken Mullins is the mall cop.
Yeah.
Like, but it didn't affect me from upstairs. He like walked straight towards me and he hugged me and he said, Jake, man, so good to see you. And I was like, I'd never met him. I'm like, Ken Mullins, like, what's going on, bro? And we just started talking for a minute. And I told him, I said, dude, I got to tell you, I had a bit of a breakdown the other day. I didn't even want to come out. And I'm so glad I did because I got to meet you. And like, you're someone I've always looked up to. And when he told me that you saw me in here, I like couldn't wait to meet you. And he told me, he goes, Jake, I got to tell you, man, like I went through the hardest time when I lost my record deal. I got to drinking, I lost my wife. My whole life went downhill. He said, and I got this job here. And he said, I took it reluctantly because I was embarrassed. Yeah. He said that people like Brad Paisley or something would come in and I would go the other way because I didn't want him to see me as the mall cop.
Yeah.
And he goes, but now I realized, he said, I'm proud of who I am. And this is, I'm supposed to be where I am. And he said, and people like you coming and saying, no, Ken Mullins, I want to see. He's like, now I get to walk up proudly and see people like you and like to tell me they're proud of me. And it makes me realize I'm right where I need to be. And he doesn't realize in that moment what I'd already just gone through. And no matter where we are,
he probably didn't even see it.
Ken Mullins was a great singer, had a record deal. I've way better singer than me. And like, we're all in these places in life where we're figuring out our lives. And
every day, bro.
And we're all, and it occurred to me in that moment that like, we all think of ourselves as we should be seen as something that we want to be seen as. And it's really like what you do as a human and how you portray yourself is what you're going to get back in return from folks. And I got to just say, like, I'm so proud of Ken. He's making a new record now. And I feel bad. I was supposed to be doing an interview with him at some point. But like he put so much in perspective for me that day because he said he was down on himself for a long time. And he said he one day looked in the mirror and he just said, Ken, you're awesome. You deserve to don't be down on yourself. Don't be. Yeah. And he said he just turned his life around. He's sober now. He's going to church all the time. He said his wife came back.
Wow. Like Ken, all man.
So Ken Mullins. Shout out Ken Mullins. I mean, and I recommend anybody out there too, go check out that record that's got Jukebox Junkie on it and all those songs because all of us here, this goes back to the 22 years of being in Nashville. Like we all moved here with dreams. You guys both moved here with the dream of writing songs and just being in it, being around people that do this and like being part of the club, the cool club.
100%.
I'm still trying to get in that cool club.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
I feel like my card runs out.
But,
you know what I mean?
But no matter where you're at, man, like we're all came here with the same thing, and no one's better than anyone else. Like there's like Chris Stapleton's better than us.
Yeah, he's better.
You know what I mean? Like, he's better. But like the rest of us, like we're all pretty much in the same fishbowl. Like except for Chris, he's in another level. But it's just important to realize that, like, dude, we're all here doing the same thing. We're all trying to make it. We're all doing the best we can, and then sometimes it hurts. Woo! And if you see somebody that's hurting or not believing in themselves, it's important to, when you recognize that, to tell them that you believe in them if you do, you know? Because I said on a podcast the other day to someone, he said, what would you tell your younger self now? I said, screw that. I wish I could go back and have my younger self tell me, remind me of who I'm supposed to be. Because as we get older, you can get down on yourself. You can tell yourself you shouldn't be doing things. So sometimes I need to go back to my younger self who was kind of on naive and say, yo, dude, you're good. Do this. Yeah. Right? Like totally. You got, and so sometimes it's the reverse. You need to remind yourself of that. But my point is, I had a lot of people reach out to me during that time. And even those I haven't reached back out to, which I'm sorry. I've been kind of overwhelmed. But so many people reached out to me and they were so kind. And they were so just genuine about where they are too and how stuff's hard and life is not easy. And it really brought a lot of peace to me. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm glad to use this platform to express that you can do the same for somebody.
Dude, thank you for sharing.
No doubt. That's strong. That's good stuff. Hey, I want to talk about begging for change.
Let's go.
What do you think? It's around addiction, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think is one misconception America has about addiction?
Bro, there's so many, right? So that song happened like that. There's one, and this is, we kind of made a statement here. In
you and Jelly. Jelly's a feature on that.
You mean we?
Us, man, you very seldom hear me say I or me, because, bro, there's been dudes around me for 20 years building something that matters. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say me or I, but bro, we wanted to do something a little different, right? We put 15 songs on this album, and there's only one feature on the entire thing. And it's a guy that wrote the song with me. And it's a super powerful song. And the reason he's on it, you know, as a writer and as a vocalist, a singer, but as an artist, because he came into the riot one morning and he was just heavy. And not just because he was a heavy dude.
I wasn't going to do it.
I wasn't going to do it. I'm going to let you do it if you're going to do it.
Well, it depends on when you wrote it.
He was too heavy. We stepped outside to smoke, and I was like, dog, you good? You know, and I'll never forget, he said, well, yeah, it's just some weird happened. He did something for the label that morning, and as he was getting in the car, he saw a homeless dude, and, you know, he's from here, right? So this dude turns around and he recognizes him. Like, man, I went to high school with that guy.
Oh, he recognized the homeless. Okay.
And he was like, but that ain't what got me. What got me is, dude, if we had to choose, that dude would have been the least likely to be homeless in our class. Like, so it kind of went from that story to my perspective. One of the things that I've said since I've kind of lived in a different direction from the stuff that used to ball and chain me, like, nobody wakes up one morning and goes, you know what? I think I want to be an alcoholic and a drug addict. I think I want to aspire to be homeless. Like, bro, it doesn't happen like that. Like, addiction is the one thing in life that truly is colorblind, that truly doesn't care who you are, what tax bracket you're in, what color you're in, what country you live in. It just wants us all dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Point blank period.
Darkness.
Yeah, it's you know, and people say, like, it skips a generation. It's been proven that it's a genetic disease, right? Like, it's literally a genetic disease at this point. Well, you know, you used to hear people say, well, it skipped our generation. Or this, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen at all.
Right.
You just didn't click into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
The generations you see it skip is that kid whose daddy was such a drunk dick.
That he don't want nothing to do
He was
with
like,
it.
man, I don't.
That's our daddy. It wasn't his daddy, but his uncles were bad. And he can't even like fathom the thought of anybody having a drink, because his uncle used to beat up on his kids.
Yeah, ran a car through the front of his house.
And his wife, and they'd come hide out at his place. Well, dude, he ain't never touched it. Not one time. My daddy has never touched it.
Because he's seen what it does. He's seen what the abuse of it does.
You're right.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, if you see what kind of traumatic stuff it brings into life, and you go, I'm going to live away from that, like, that to me is skipping. That's what skipping a generation is.
Yeah.
It's not that he wouldn't be a full blown addict if he picked it up and used it to cope through something and goes.
He just said,
like
he knows he can't.
Yeah, 100%.
He knows he can't.
Here's the thing: when I had that wreck after high school, like it did kind of scramble me a little bit. You know, some screws are still loose up there. My memory's really, really, really hazy. From
what wreck are we talking about? I don't know. I didn't know.
I had one not long after high school. Got flipped a few times, end over end, and got ejected. There's a wild story about it that I don't know. Yeah. I like to tell people early on that that's what, you know, that was God's way of showing me that music was my path and this, that, and that. But the wreck did knock some memory. I hit my head pretty hard and.
Happens.
It's a motorcycle wreck.
No, it was a truck wreck. Yeah, I got ejected out the back.
Oh, you were going on a motorcycle to show them. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I don't remember a lot of things, but I do remember how old I was, where I was at, and when I was drinking the first time I got a buzz and went, oh, like it slowed down. It worked.
Oh, wow.
Like from that point until December 18th of 2011.
That was
the time I was 14 years old.
14.
In Jeff and Kelly Potts' backyard, you know, we snuck a bottle of Crown out of their little bar thing.
Yeah.
And I put it in one of those Gatorade squeeze bottles we had on the football field.
Yeah.
And I remember climbing the fence and hitting the ground on the other side of the fence and being like, wait, I'm not worried about anything. You know, that stuff in my brain, I can't get to slow down or go away, is stopped. It was like, bro, I can't tell you there was one time in my life I drank to have a good time.
Yeah.
I just drink to cut the noise down. Woo. And then, you know, when you start making enough mistakes to where you need to drink to cope through it.
Yeah.
Like,
starts compounding.
I did it to exist. And if you didn't know me well, bro, all that I was on, you know, tolerance had got to a point where that was just my cruising altitude, man. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
So for a lot of us, it's that way. Like, I don't drink socially. Like, I drink with a purpose.
Golly, that's wild. And it's hard to understand as someone who's never done that. Yeah. But I completely understand that that's the world's way of telling you that that's how you heal. Because addiction lies and the world lies. It's a lie.
Well, it is to an extent.
But it also
the flip side of that coin is, bro, it worked.
It worked. Yeah.
But
which might be part of it.
But I do think there's certain ones of us. I'm one of them. God wants me to work through some instead of hitting the easy button.
Amen.
God's like, hey, dude, I put that shit in your way so you learn how to work through that adversity.
Yeah, and who I was.
Not so you can skip over it.
Or who I am.
You're denying my blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the his blessing he ever gave me. But yeah, I do think that's a thing. And there's a lot of stuff about that, like the song that starts this entire album off is The Addiction. And, you know, that's another thing we like to say in recovery. There's a lot of things we like to believe. But at the end of the day, I mean, I just say, this is my opinion. Addicts, we replace our addiction. Right? Your addiction, your new addiction might be treatment itself.
Sure. Working out.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a million different things that you fill that hole with. And one of the giant things that fills that hole for me in this chapter of my life is, you know, that song talks about my wife and the love I have for her.
Yeah.
But it's the life that came with her. Right? It's the one that eventually led to being a dad and having new responsibilities and reasons to not do that. And I'm addicted to it. Like,
wow.
Selfishly, being around my kids, like, I'm working on being better, being present. Difficult.
Yeah.
I have
there's a difference between being around them and being.
I have trouble with that.